Hello, my friends. So today I'm just going to take you through a quick training about elements. Okay. So as we know, elements are the pieces that make up the creative itself, and not every element is used every single time. But just to give you a quick kind of understanding, I know you all as video creators, you all know innately what these are, but let's just put a name to the actual element so you can understand when we're building out different storyboards how to use the elements, and how we can maybe create our own frameworks using these different elements like building blocks. So I'm just going to jump to my Twitter really quick because I actually wrote a thread about this. You can reach that thread here. If you ever need to go back over it, you can just click the link here and that'll take you right here. So video elements. There's a whole bunch of different aspects to a video element, right? And in this thread, we're just going to cover what they all are very quickly. And if you have any more questions about it, we can always go into depth a little bit later. So first, we'll just start out with the angle, okay? So this is the overarching message behind your video. It helps people know exactly that, like who you're talking to, right? And this is using the angle as a perspective, right? You want to try to relate back to that person, because everyone that we try to target has their own perspective on life. And so these different archetypes will have different perspectives. And the angle is basically the idea behind their, what they're suffering from and how we can speak to them about that and how we can hold their attention. So the next one, really important, you all know what this is, but the scroll stop, right? The scroll stop element is basically the hook. And sometimes it can directly correlate to the actual creative that we're making, but at other times it doesn't need to correlate as much as it needs to grab the viewer's attention. So the first 3 seconds of the video are super important for grabbing people's attention, and the rest of the video does the work on selling them, right, and keeping their attention. But initially, we just want to grab their attention. It can be something gross. It can be something, kind of zoomed in and macro. There's a whole bunch of different creative ways that you can go super deep into creating a scroll stop. But let me show you something really quick that might be helpful. Inside this marketing psychology sheet, we have these 9 secondary wants, okay? Good ways to create good hooks stem from these 9 things, okay? So if you inform somebody, did you know X? Did you know Y? You can get them with their curiosity bias. You can show something that's really clean or really dirty. You can show, something that's like efficient, something convenient, something that's really quality and looks really aesthetic. You can show expression of beauty and style. Showing a beautiful face in the first 3 seconds works really well for this. You can show something that is good for economy or good for profit. It's gonna benefit them. And you can also show like a bargain. Those are really good to set up a strong hook in the beginning of your video so people pay attention to what you're going to show them, right? Because if we don't capture their attention, then we're just wasting our money on ad spend, right? So this is a very important element that will be included in every video that we do. And then we move into the problem, okay? And as it states, the problem is basically the biggest pain point that they're dealing with in relation to the product that we're selling, okay? And that's why we have Dark Spot Serena, so what sucks for their life right now? How painful is it to deal with that issue that they're facing? Is it, a common problem? Is it something that's like, a lot of people of this archetype are going to go through? That's what the problem element is. And so where we introduce this really will affect how the video performs. So the problem can be introduced very early, or maybe you can build up to the problem in the middle of the video. We can get really creative with it. Now, the agitation is basically the second level of that pain, okay? Agitation is basically, all right, if my pain point is I'm poor and I can't afford my home, an agitation is going to be, I also can't afford any food, or I can't afford to buy the things that I want or do the things that I want, and I have to work 2 jobs. Those are all agitations. That's like twisting, that's like an Indian burn, or twisting or kicking the bruise, right? Like, you want to make sure that people stay engaged because they're like, oh, yeah, I have that problem. oh man, that hit me hard because I also have that pain, and that agitates me, and I want to do something to change it, right? So how does the problem make your life hell in more than one way? Is it affecting you every day? Emphasize the pain that you're experiencing, right? Emphasize the pain that the that the audience is experiencing. And so that's an agitation element. And usually that will come right after the problem because we want to build that pain up. And then if we look at the solution, we all know what the solution is. It's our product, right? Our product being used, our product being introduced or unboxed. That's a solution element, right? The big moment where you introduce the product or service. And so this is where you show your excitement or your passion or your relief. So when we have content creators, look for the exciting moments where they're like super stoked to pull out the mask or super stoked to pull out the microscope and start, using it on their face, or they're just looking at it and being very excited. The authority element is when someone from, either a science background is speaking or has made a quote. David is really good at finding these types of quotes from significant sources. A unique mechanism about the product that makes it, better than other products in the same realm, or people or a company who invented the product. That's also based on authority, and it shows and displays social proof, which is really important. So the authority will usually come in after the solution has been introduced. And the same thing for celebrity. You can use celebrity element or the authority element almost synonymously. So today, Batuhan actually used, I think it was Kourtney Kardashian with the BioLux mask. That's an example of a celebrity element. So somebody who has social status and has a look that our archetype is wanting to achieve, or they look up to that individual. That's going to build some social proof for them as well. And it builds rapport with the audience. The next thing is a feature element. So this is obviously after the product has been introduced. You have a feature element that shows the function of the product, right? How it turns on. For the BioLux, that it has 3 different lights, right? And we have to make sure not to mistake features for benefits. Features are just a function. A benefit is how it affects someone's life, right? So that's a feature element. The benefit element is the difference between the benefit and the feature. So a benefit element for BioLux would be it gets rid of dark spots, right? A feature would be that it uses 3 different lights, amber, red, and blue, right? So that's the difference between a feature and a benefit. We want to sell with benefits. Features are good to introduce, probably after the product or solution has been introduced. Benefits are really what are going to close people, though. So benefits can be used throughout. The element desire and result. Basically, this is when people are speaking with the product in their hand and they're like, oh, I wanted clear skin for so long, and now I finally have it thanks to BioLux, right? It's those types of segments. So that's the element of desire and result. And then use cases. So use cases are basically like B-roll footage of the product being used. We use it all the time. I see it in all of our videos. It's basically where somebody has got like the mask on and they're like posing, or that girl, I'm sure you guys have seen it where she's wearing the mask and she's like dancing. That's like B-roll that's good to kind of fill the voids along our video creation. And it just helps with like filling out the creative itself. It's always good to use B-roll when somebody is narrating over the top or if there's a voiceover. Summary problem element is when they're experiencing a breakthrough with our product. So this can be used towards the end of the video most of the time, but this element is basically like, man, I never thought, I've been suffering from terrible acne since I was 16. I never thought I would find a solution outside of Accutane, right? So that's a summary problem. And then you have a summary solution. Thank God I found BioLux. Now my acne is non-existent, as you can see here, showing her face like clear, looks clean, okay? That's all that element is. Couple this with good macro footage and whatever kind of shot you find relevant to your happy solution, right? Like, so we've already gone over how a lot of our UGC content creators will show like this element of them being happy and their solution being very clear, in our product. Guarantees. It's always good to include a guarantee right after you have the summary of the solution. And that's just an element that talks about like try free for 90 days, right? That's basically our guarantee, and that helps solidify the sale. So it helps make people take action right before the CTA. And then you have offers. An offer element is something like right now, BioLux is offering this life-changing product and throwing in the microsculpt for 50% off. I bought one for my mom too. That is an offer being solicited, right? So offer elements are really powerful towards the very end of the video after we've already done all of the proof, showed the problem, showed the agitation, showed the solution, and then showed the outcome. So then we move on to the CTA element. Every ad creative should have a call to action, and you can get very creative with the call to action. It doesn't just need to be try this today. You can make something up completely different, like change your face forever. That can be a call to action, right? And it's kind of indirect because it's like change your face forever. Okay, I get it. You just showed me how the BioLux works, and it works using these different rays of LED light. Okay, I understand. So that's disarming to people sometimes. Instead of like get yours now, you can use something a little bit more creative. But that's pretty much all of the different video elements, okay? So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. But I just really quickly wanted to film this for you so you had an understanding of what the elements are. And then, I want to create something probably in the future to send to talent so they can understand this as well, because then they can build out their UGC using all of these different elements. And it really helps when it comes to video editing for you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in Discord. Thanks.